Hey guys, Camper15 back at it with another video for you guys. I'm back with another SpyxFamily episode review for you guys. And I know I missed last week's episode review for SpyxFamily, but honestly, I just didn't feel like talking about it. It was kind of just another episode that was just like, oh, focuses a little bit on Anya's funny school stuff there. And then, yeah, listen, I enjoy SpyxFamily. I enjoy watching it like on a weekly basis, on my own free time. But I really do feel like not a lot ultimately happens in terms of progressing the story. It's just kind of like side stories, and there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, then nothing wrong with it. It's just for me personally, like just seeing these side stories and then constantly talking about him over and over and over again on the channel. It kind of does get a little bit repetitive, in my opinion, but it is what it is. But listen, it's not that I don't hate it. I can see why some people they're like, SpyxFamily's good, but it's not getting to the levels that I thought it could be. But maybe something good hasn't happened yet. It looks like next week's episode could be a really damn good episode because I'm guessing it looks like Yor is potentially getting jealous of the new girl we saw in this week's episode that will be appearing next week. So I'm definitely looking forward to next Saturday. But but this episode was more Anya funniness business, just from the standpoint you get the first half of the episode where it's just pretty much like a typical easy school project that, trust me, people who were kids probably got this type of project to do, where it's like, oh, you go ask your parents a question about whatever profession they do and what makes it so hard for them and yada yada yada, what's the reason why they're doing what they're doing. And it was absolutely hilarious the way some just few characters, really Anya and Yor, misunderstand certain circumstances. Like freaking Yor, she's been the character this entire series that has just been misunderstanding things out of the ass, man. Anya's like, hey, I need to know what you do as your profession, yada yada yada, what your job is. And the first thing that comes to mind is not the job she does at the coffee shop. She's thinking of her freaking career as a freaking assassin. And you get this funny side-by-side just imagination of Yor as if, Yor is walking Anya through her assassin stuff and what she has to do and everything. And I'm just like, Yor, come on, girl. You need to stop getting these misunderstandings. Like, you would think, like, no, this girl's got to understand, like, no, just tell her about your coffee shop, not your not your assassin stuff. And she totally misconstrues things, and it gets to the point where Anya's just like, I think I'm gonna just go talk to dad about this. Because Yor gets a little bit too over the top, which was absolutely funny, because Yor's like, oh yeah, that's probably the better thing. I'm like, Yor, come on. Just put up the point about your coffee shop job. Like, it isn't that hard. So then that's when we get a look into Loid's fake job, his fake job. But the thing is, I was always interested to wonder when I was watching this, I'm like, okay, he's facading himself as a fake psychiatrist or a doctor. But when he goes away, he's doing spy work. Well, we kind of find out in this episode, in a way, since he's a spy, he's playing the part of a doctor. But he legitimately actually legit works at a hospital. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I thought when he goes away, he's going doing spy stuff. Now, he's doing spy stuff with this hospital psychologist job he's doing for the meantime. But I would, from my point of perspective, I always thought, oh, when he's going out, he's doing spy missions and stuff like that, and it's just a whole lie. Because I was like, oh, really? It's interesting. Like, if she's gonna ask him, like, what is she gonna are they gonna do what they did in the first half of the season, where they made Anya's castle and made the other spy people pretend like it was the case? I thought they were gonna do that. They were gonna do a whole, just the spy organization was gonna just find some abandoned building, make it look like a hospital, and Loid just does work there. But no, he actually legitimately works at a legit hospital to continue furthering this facade of him being a spy. But I found it absolutely hilarious. Again, another misunderstanding by Anya is you think she'd be getting the notes down on his psychologist stuff, but she internally is reading his mind, and he's talking about spy stuff, saying like, yeah, da 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 da, and then he's like, well, it's the only way I can do this as a spy, so I gotta hide it from them, so it is what it is. And she's getting that shit down, and Loid's like, why are you taking notes at the most inopportune times when you think you should be when he's thinking he should be taking notes during the way he's talking and everything. You know, we see how the co-workers meet Anya. They think she's cute and adorable. Absolutely funny scene right then and there. And then it gets to the scene where Anya's, you know, she ends up finding one of Loid's secret, like, I guess, passages, and she ends up, you know, listening in on like these, I guess you could say, these board members of this hospital, and they're talking about like some sort of ghost thing, like, and everything, which is absolutely funny because Anya's making noise and like, oh, and then next thing you know, she gets her leg trapped, and then she's like, and then they hear it coming from the ceiling, and they're like, holy shit, the ghost child is really here in this building. Which was absolutely funny because after she leaves, he's like, well, let's get back to working quickly so we can get the fuck out of here. Absolutely hilarious content right then and there. And it was even more funny because before this whole thing, she went into the secret passageway. Loid gave her like the sandbox, and he's like, well, here's these like figures or these toys. It pretty much shows me what a person's mind space is thinking. Because she's in a hurry because she overhears Loid coming back to the room, she just dumps pretty much all the toys, and when he comes back, he just like, oh shit, she's just her mind's full of chaos. She doesn't know what she's thinking. She's like, and he's like, it must be because she got adopted by somebody she never knew, all this and everything. And then he starts to freaking be more like caring and everything. He's like, I gotta do a better job as a spy to pick this up. How could I not pick this up? Also, we do meet the one girl we've been seeing in the ending, the one with the white short silver hair. She looks like a character that could be absolutely funny, but she's like that character who's like, yeah, you go do that, okay? Yeah, sure. Eyes all slanted, seemingly like she doesn't care. She also works for the agency too, so yeah, that's kind of the thing. But and it was absolutely fun. But you know, the misunderstanding, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be funny because eventually he picks up her notebook, and I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna see that she's been writing down his stuff about a spy. But no, it's just mumbo jumbo stuff, and because she can't write for shit. Again, why Loid and Yor have not taught her how to write perfectly, I have no idea. Why the school hasn't done anything better, no idea. But I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna revise it for her and everything. But he's like, no, I can do it. Next thing you know, she gets pretty much all the evidence she got from it down, and as she's presenting in the class, she's saying things where, you know, at first you see the instructor like, oh yes, Loid Forger, he's being such an elegant figure, being a psychologist, especially helping people in time after war. And the next thing you know, she starts going down things that she shouldn't probably be saying, and then you see where everybody in the class is like, the hell? And then the freaking teacher's like, Loid Forger, what are you doing? And it's funny because they cut over the Loid as he's having a talk with Sylvia, and he's getting this chill down his spine, and she's like, something wrong? He's like, I just have a bad feeling something's not going right. And it's funny because the narrative's like, yeah, the school had to call in Loid Forger to explain everything, but he issued out everything. Which, damn it, I wish they showed that scene. Why did they freaking cut that scene out? I don't know if they showed it in the manga, but if that scene is in the manga where he's explaining to the school director, the teacher, like, your daughter's saying you're hitting people. What the hell's going on in your job? And everything. I wish they showed that scene because that scene would have been absolutely hilarious. I don't know if it's in the manga, but I really wish they could have just made this an anime only scene where he just has a sit down talk trying to be like, no, I don't do all this. You know, I think she's misconstruing things. You know, Anya. You know, and yeah. And the back half wasn't as interesting as the first half of the episode, but it's just she's watching the spy show, and the spy show's getting this code down. And she's just she's doing this code. She can't write, but she has Yor write it. And she's pretty much giving out these codes to everybody. But eventually we have it to where our Afro dude, at first he doesn't pay it no mind, but eventually he opens it up after like going to this basement area, and he's thinking, and he's just like, oh, this is a love letter, because he's like sniffing it. He's like, this is the writing of a female. I'm just like, oh god, this man straight up literally opened his eyes because he couldn't sleep, because he found the location where the code was at. And this guy has literally his blinds where the sunlight is in his eyes, and he did not blink 1 second, and his eyes were open. And I'm just like, his eyes are bloodshot red. I'm like, this man is desperate for some woman. After what happened a few weeks ago, to the fact that this guy pretty much got dumped by, my man is, he looks like he's struggling out there. He looks like he wants a girlfriend. But, yeah, another solid episode of SpyxFamily. Again, like I said, you know, these just these episodes where it's just like, oh, just these things that are happening, like, it's a typical slice of life show. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I can see why some people may not feel like it's just the show's not as entertaining as it used to be. Like, to me, it doesn't become a drag, but it's like, in a way, I feel like I lose focus and I lose, you know, time and effort to putting my time for this anime, but it's at the same time, I still get enjoyment out of watching it. It's just, at this point, I guess you can say the phase for me in terms of, oh, I'm in complete love with this show, I think it's honestly kind of died down for me. Like, when I first watched the show, I was absolutely into this show. And now I'm at the point where it's like, that's kind of worn off on me, to be honest. Like, you know, honestly, it's one of my lower ranked anime seasonal watches, because I just feel like there's more interesting shows out there that I enjoy watching more than, say, SpyxFamily at this point in time. Not to say that SpyxFamily sucks. I think it's actually really good. It's just, I enjoy watching, like, My Hero Academia. I enjoy watching Bleach. I enjoy watching Chainsaw Man. I enjoy watching Eminence in Shadow, you know, and everything. Shit, I watch Uzaki-chan on the free. Honestly, I like Uzaki-chan a little bit more right now than SpyxFamily. I know, kill me in the comment section, but it's just, when I watch it, it's like, it doesn't hit me as good as it used to. Now, next week could potentially be a great episode, because we have the one chick who we get introduced into, the silver-haired chick, into this episode, and based on the next episode preview, it looks like Yor's gonna get jealous that she thinks this girl is into Loid like that, and Loid's spending a lot of time with her, and it looks like she potentially could be jealous, when maybe she might go over the top, like, I might need to kill this woman so I can just keep Loid all to myself, which would further show you that yeah, Yor is definitely in love with Loid. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna catch you guys in this video. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of SpyxFamily. Your thoughts on SpyxFamily, the back half of the season in general. Are you starting to lose a little bit of I guess you could say a little bit of wanting of this show? Like, do you think the show's kind of dragged out to the point where it's like, it's not as interesting as it used to be, and until something big happens, or is your intrigue still there? But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more SpyxFamily content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. I left a community post saying that My Hero Academia episode 8 review for season 6 will be going up later today. Because the Red Wolf, my co-host on the channel, I forgot actually, he works on Saturday because Thanksgiving is next week, so he has to get that he had to get that one day in, because he's gonna be more than likely be gone for the holiday weekend, which is crazy to believe that we're already in the holiday weekend. I still remember when January was, you know, of this year in 2022. Now we're already at the end. But anyways, guys, can I catch you guys in the next video? Till then, guys, see you guys later. Peace.